Welcome to the second edition of our Crossroads Europe series, looking at the changing face of Europe. I'm Elizabeth Filippoli. In this edition, Spain, where for 900 years the so-called mosques reigned, and where Islamic culture, commerce and history once flourished. In this modern Catholic country, some Muslims never left, and others have been coming back. Justin Webster is a filmmaker living in Spain. He brings us a story of some of the frictions being felt in Barcelona.
The centre of Barcelona, a Mediterranean city where the old working-class district by the port has changed rapidly in recent years because of a huge influx of new immigrants, most of them Muslims. On Friday lunchtime in the heart of the Raval, the street fills up with Muslim men. To most passers-by, it's not clear at first why they're congregating here. Soon they can be seen disappearing down a long passageway. Inside this old tenement block is one of Spain's most popular mosques, but it's almost clandestine. Cameras are not allowed inside to film when it's packed at prayer time. Even the patio is now being used for praying. The Imam from Morocco, like many of the men who come to pray, shows us around. It's a labyrinth of halls bought up piecemeal over the years as demand has increased. There's no space, the Imam tells me. It was a place of only 84 square meters to begin with. Now we have 10 times that amount. But sometimes, when there are a lot of people, we have to repeat prayers. People have to leave and the others who've been waiting in the street come in. It's a problem of space, he says. There's no space.
Otros lo que están en las calles todavía no hacen.
Nowhere in Spain has the construction boom that drives the economy been more spectacular than in Barcelona. The city has undergone rapid modernization in the last 2 decades. And immigrants, especially Moroccans, have provided much of the labor. In only a few years, run-down inner-city districts have been revitalized, partly by skillful social building plans and partly by the arrival of new communities. But the idea of building mosques excites fierce opposition. In recent Catalan elections, Spain's main right-wing opposition party made campaigning against the building of a mosque in Badalona, near Barcelona, its central issue. And they collected over 3,000 signatures. There are enough Arabs, says this voter, Moroccans and the like. Now if they put a mosque here, even more will come. This popular party campaigner says they want to use a municipal site of 1,200 square meters, and this is what makes people angry, and they react. And this voter says it's the Muslims who don't adapt to us locals, and we have to adapt to them, and it's not fair. The experience of Taufik Chadadi is doubly eloquent about the feelings mosques provoke. He's the Imam of one of the unofficial mosques, classified as oratoriums or praying halls, that was closed down by the Badalona Town Council in 2005. Neighbours complained too many people were coming to Friday prayers and blocking the street. Since then, it's been turned into a cultural and educational centre, while the dispute over where to locate the new mosque continues. After the town council closed this because it was a mosque, he tells me, our children can't have religious classes in public education. And we've undertaken, with our own scant resources, to get classes going here. And Chadadi has experienced firsthand another, even more serious form of suspicion about Muslims. 2 years ago, he was arrested in a terrorist investigation. Spain's already difficult relations with Islam are further complicated by memories of the Al-Qaeda-inspired Madrid bombing of 2004, in which nearly 200 people died. Jadadi runs a shop for Islamic books and music opposite the mosque. Suspicions over one of his former employees led to his arrest. He was soon released without charges.
They took me in for questioning and searched all the books, he explains.
They showed me a file like this. They had all my speeches and writings. The inspector said it was all fine, that my speeches were encouraging integration and respect for laws. So why am I here, I asked. I'm sorry, it's because your name circulated in terrorist circles. But it was a real shock. It's in the past now, though hard to forget. I have to keep working for what I believe in.
Pero, por supuesto, con eso no se va a borrar fácilmente de la memoria y hay que seguir trabajando en lo que yo creo.
Children and women now fill up the centre on 2 nights a week for Arabic classes. Despite the problems and his own experiences, Jadadi believes the neighbours' suspicions can be solved with more openness and by showing them they have nothing to fear from Islam. The Moroccan girls who've been attending Arabic classes say they have Spanish friends, but they often feel misunderstood.
They reject us, says this girl. They don't care about our beliefs, says another.
There are people who say, take off your veil. Why, I ask. Because you're in Spain, they say. I say it's my religion. I wear it because I want to. They say, well, you were born here, you're Spanish, so don't wear it. None of us like the way they distort Islam on TV and in the papers. And it's not just in the poor districts where Muslim immigrants provoke suspicion. Here in the Passeig de Gràcia, Barcelona's fashionable central boulevard, a question about building mosques in the city prompts a range of reactions, most of them negative.
This is a group which doesn't integrate easily, I'm told, and at the same time, Spaniards find it hard to accept them. They have to take into account they're in another country, is another comment. When we have gone to other countries, we have had to adapt, so I think they should adapt to us, says this lady.
But Catalonia is also the region in Spain where, thanks to its population of over 200,000 Muslims, a quarter of Spain's total, the first Muslim has been elected to parliament. Mohamed Chaib is a member for the Socialist Party in the Catalan Regional Assembly. He campaigns for Muslims to participate in Spanish society and warns that popular opposition to mosques only plays into the hands of radical Islamic parties within the Muslim community.
What we have to ensure is that these mosques are places in good condition, says Chaib, not garages, because this is also one of the reasons for rejection amongst the neighbours. When they see a closed, makeshift place where people go in and out and they don't know what's going on inside, this all creates suspicion. I always say, he explains, when there is a rejection of mosques, Muslims tend to shut themselves off, because this concept we always defend about the integration of Muslims in the country they live in. They say, this speech is great, but it has nothing to do with us, because they don't really like us.
2 years ago, a mosque in Santa Coloma on the outskirts of Barcelona was eventually closed down after very public local protests, creating a political problem that is a worrying precedent for other town councils. Problems have mounted up, recent immigrants have little or no representation, and there's a labyrinth of laws and agreements and regulations. Disputes now are decided more by local popular pressure, easily fanned by political parties.
This councillor explains that at a certain moment there appeared a political party that, using fear, could make political capital, which is what happened here in Badalona. where the Popular Party hasn't hesitated to play on fears, psychological fears, for political advantage.
2 years on, and here is the solution. The new mosque in Santa Coloma is located in a porter cabin, on the edge of a building site, well away from any Spanish neighbours.
The Imam tells me that for the moment there's nothing better than this, but it's a provisional agreement with the town council.
While other types of construction continue at full speed in and around the modest mosque, the Muslims of Santa Coloma and Badalona wait for their disputes to be resolved and the wave of rejection to subside.